and welcome to the Safe Slot Podcast. I'm your host, St. John Bourget. Joining me today is Keaton Emerson. You gotta say something, Keaton. You gotta say something.
No, I'm just gonna.
Keaton waves hello. Ben Wagner.
Yo.
And my forever co-host, Brendan Turcott.
Hey.
Hey, Brendan, you might actually have to talk a little louder.
Do that.
You might have to talk loud. I don't know how close that is to you.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, cool. So today's icebreaker, basically, I don't know if you guys know the rules of the I know you do.
I do.
The shutdown card, but we're gonna play an icebreaker game. Whoever wins it gets a shutdown card. The way the shutdown card works is whoever has it can use it once throughout the entire episode to shut down someone's opinion, and they're no longer allowed to talk about that game or whatever it is that they were talking about. So you want this? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because if Brendan gets it, who knows? So this icebreaker game is called Name That Obscure Item. So how this works is I have 6 different items from 6 different games. I'll read a little description about the item, and then I will give you a multiple choice, 3 multiple choice of what that item could possibly be. We'll go person by person. We'll start with you, Keaton, and then we'll go Ben, then Brennan, and then back to you. So everyone gets a chance to go first twice.
Keaton's losing.
Okay. Hey, do you have a pen?
I mean,
Break
they're
time.
random.
Sorry, I need a pen.
Random guy in the back.
Random guy in the back. Producer. Actually, I have one. Thanks, dude.
I like that.
Good catch.
Are you editing this out?
No, this is all part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so game number 1, or question number 1. This game is Crash Bandicoot. Blank are Crash's favorite food and a common object in all Crash Bandicoot games. Collecting 100 blank will give Crash an extra life. Is it Wampa fruit, Bandy fruit, or Crash berries? Keaton.
Crash berries?
Ben.
I think it's crash berries.
Brendan.
Wampa fruit.
It is Wampa fruit. Brandon, killing it again.
Crash berries just sounds really cheesy to me.
I mean, that game looks cheesy to me.
You never played it?
No.
Insulting a classic.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't play it either.
Ooh, okay. Well, they're coming to all consoles and platforms, so now's your chance. Next game is Jack and Daxter. These shiny egg-shaped items are scattered throughout the world. You're going to need to collect as many of these as possible to trade them for power cells. Are they power eggs, precursor orbs, or eco eggs? Ben.
Precursor orbs?
Brennan.
Precursor orbs.
Keaton.
Precursor orbs.
Yeah, you're all right.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
all right.
I guess. I knew. I love Jack and Daxter. not 2 or 3 though.
No?
Edgy Jack is
3 was my
kinda
favorite.
But he's so edgy.
I think that's why I liked it. He didn't talk in the first one, and then they... Anyways, next game is Banjo-Kazooie. Small creatures found in every game in the Banjo-Kazooie series. These bipedal, teddy bear-like critters with beaks come in a variety of colors and are intelligent, and are more intelligent than their appearance might let on. Are they Jinjos, Kinjos, or Joes? Brennan Turco.
Jinjos.
Keaton.
Jinjo.
Ben?
Ginger.
Yeah.
I don't like going first.
You said it very confidently, so I was like,
I know all of these.
Okay, Keaton, back to you. Diddy Kong Racing is the game. During the challenges on the different racetracks throughout the game, the player can find these blank on the track. Are they item boxes, item balloons, or item bubbles?
Item balloons.
Ben.
Diddy Kong, item boxes.
Item balloons.
Item balloons.
Best car racing game of all time.
So basically, Keaton, you can tie this up. Ben, you have no way of winning. Actually, yeah, no, you both could tie this up. We could have a tie.
What happens to the tie?
I don't know.
Cool.
I'll come up with something.
Cool.
I'll come up with something. Okay, so this next game is Fortnite. A legendary consumable healing item in Battle Royale. It takes 15 seconds to consume, but grants the player full health and full shield. Is it a shield potion, a slurp juice, or a chug jug? Ben.
Chug jug.
Brennan.
I'm gonna go with Chug Junk.
Chug jug.
His chug jug. Keaton just riding the coattails of everyone else.
That's the first one that I
Chug jug
have
is new.
no
Yeah.
Okay,
idea
so it's like
of.
Yeah, it's new. You drink the whole thing, it completely refills everything. Alright, last game is Ratchet and Clank. The main form of currency in Ratchet and Clank series with which weapons, gadgets, items, and other things are purchased. Is it bolts, nuts, or screws?
Oh, it's me first?
Yeah, it's you first.
Bolts.
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 Yeah, bolts, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should have a no Brennan first rule. So I'm gonna have to tally these up. That's 1 for Brennan, 2 for Brennan, 3 for Brennan, 4
There's
for Brennan.
not
5 for Brennan.
competition.
Actually,
You got all
yeah,
6?
Brennan go.
Oh,
Again.
6.
So you get the shutdown card.
Oh no.
There's no competition when it's 3D platformers.
And you know
That's
what?
like what I grew up on.
That's the hardest part of it, setting
grew
up
up
this
on everything,
podcast.
though.
Everything else, like these news stories, like I can get in like 20 minutes. I'd spend like an hour and a half sitting there being like, because you can't just Google like, I try to Google like obscure items in video games, and it's just like weird collectibles, like.
And then it turns out all being games that.
No, yeah, no, not even, no. Sorry, it's not The Witcher 3.
No, I mean like it's all like
Obscure
they're
items
like
in the
all
Witcher
those
3.
cartoon games. I mean they're good games, but they're all like.
Are you calling these
those
dumb baby
cartoon-
games?
No, not. I'm just saying there's
You
no
like
like
them with the
there's
dumb
no
baby
Valve
games,
in there.
you know.
There's no
No, there wasn't. But
FPSs or anything
because
like
I thought like, what games do you mostly collect in? It's usually 3D platforms.
that. I see. It's collectible.
I threw in a racing game in there, Diddy Kong. So.
And
Makes sense.
Fortnite.
And
That was
Fortnite's
the
in there,
only
too.
one that I was not confident in my answer. I just like guessed.
That was a good guess. I want to do a little bit of corrections from last week's episode. Last week, when Aaron was talking about Optic Gaming and he was talking about Optic Hex, I started immediately talking about Flamesword, who's also part of Optic Gaming, but they are not the same person. I started talking about Optic Flamesword as if Optic Hex was, and they're two completely different people. Also, I just want to say, when we talked about Fortnite Mobile last week, it kind of made it seem like when you were playing on mobile, you were playing with other people all the time. Like that was the only way to play mobile. That's not. Like if you played on mobile, you can play with just mobile people. If you get invited to someone on PlayStation 4, then you'll be playing with PlayStation 4 people. So it's way more complicated to play cross-platform. I also played it on mobile, and I'm just not part of the demographic that game's for. I played for a solid 30 seconds and then uninstalled it. So I don't know. A lot of
There
people
would
get
be
it.
little 8-year-olds that would destroy you at that.
I probably got destroyed by a little 8-year-old. That's probably who killed me. I literally landed, I got a gun, went down some stairs, and then another dude just came up, and we just stood there for like 10 seconds staring at each other, awkward, because I couldn't figure out how to like,
Do you play it with like
Yeah, just touch-
move
it's
his
touch
left hand?
controls, yeah.
Ugh.
yeah. And he shot me once, and I died, and I just uninstalled it. It was not for me. We have a game announcement, kind of. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was announced. And I say kind of because months ago, Square came out and had this little blurb saying, hey, we're doing another Tomb Raider game, don't worry about it. We're not ready to talk about it yet, but we will be ready to talk about it yet. Please be excited. Which is the dumbest way to announce a game. Like, they're not showing anything. They didn't give it a title. They just said, hey, we are doing a Tomb Raider game, so don't worry. No one was worried, though. So, what they called it was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's going to be the climactic finale of Lara's origin. It'll be available September 14th, 2018. There's no console time exclusivity this time. It used to be like exclusive to Xbox for a bit, and then it would come out on PlayStation and other systems. This time it's just all platforms at the same time. It's not really that significant. It actually kind of leaked. People knew about it like the day before on their website, everything like that. They weren't really good at keeping it a secret. Another thing I want to talk about, do you guys know who Ninja is? The streamer, Ninja on Twitch?
I know of him because of what you're probably going to talk about.
He shattered Twitch records on Thursday, I believe it was. Thursday or Wednesday. And what happened was he streams Fortnite on Twitch. He's probably the biggest name in Twitch right now. He streamed actually with the rapper Drake. So Drake wanted to play Fortnite with him, and then so they were playing Fortnite. They started at like around 200,000 views, which is pretty good. The record was like 400,000 by like Tyler 1. And then Drake tweeted out like, yo, I'm playing Fortnite with this guy on Twitch. And then they completely shattered it. They hit over 630,000 viewers, which is now the new Twitch record.
Wow.
To kind of like put that in perspective, Ninja himself, like the streamer, made $25,000 from that 3-hour session with Drake, just from subscribers. So it's pretty cool. Ninja's a really good dude. I don't want the whole Drake thing to take away from his success, because Ninja definitely deserves it. He used to be a Halo pro, so I used to like follow him growing up, like watching him play Halo. And so seeing him go from like having like 30 viewers playing Halo to having 630,000 viewers playing Fortnite is pretty cool. He's a good dude and he's well deserving of it. Nintendo also announced that on Tuesday, March 20th, they will be holding a Nindies showcase. So it's going to be like a little mini direct for basically just the indie games coming to the Switch. That's kind of cool. I kind kind of answers why they didn't really talk about that many indies in their last direct. Is because they probably didn't want it to be in the shadow of WarioWare and all their great games that they announced last
Why
week.
WarioWare? Why not Smash?
Because it's funny. I don't know. Because who cares about WarioWare
In the
other than
shadow
Ben?
of
Like
WarioWare.
WarioWare. Don't even.
You should have been on here.
Tons
last
of
week,
people
Ben.
love WarioWare.
Well, you know.
For such a thick character, Wario has like a tiny little shadow. It's hard to be in the shadow of Wario.
He's a big dude though.
Yeah, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, they should just bring Luigi's Mansion to Switch. But yeah, so it's cool that they're going to give a spotlight to Nintendo Indies. So we'll probably get new announcements there. Also, Sega teased a new Sonic Racing game. There hasn't been a Sonic Racing since I think Sega CD Drive or whatever it was.
No.
When was it?
There was Sega and Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Okay.
Ridiculous name, incredibly good kart racing game.
Okay.
It like 200cc in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
If you think that's fast, no, like
Oh,
in that game you're going
well,
at
it's
like
Sonic, so.
probably at about 400cc at the fastest. Like
Yeah.
you have to take turns as soon as you took the turn before.
What?
You have
so
to
you
do
just start
like
turning in the middle of the
you need
last
to
turn?
master the maps
It's
in
a
it,
drifting game,
basically.
that's all
It
it
is
is.
so fast.
You just Tokyo drifting every. Yeah, so they
You know
announced
it's
it.
so
So
fast.
they teased that. We don't really know anything about it. It literally was just like a shadow, and it just you could tell it was the Sonic logo, and then all of a sudden the R lit up. But if you like raise the contrast on it, you can see the word racing in there. So
We do know Sumo Digital's working on it,
We
which
do?
is it's the same team that made Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing and Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing Transformed.
that's a good thing.
Yes.
Okay, good.
They did a really good job.
So this might be the first good Sonic game in a long time since Mania. And speaking about Mania, they're actually going to release an updated version of it called Sonic Mania Plus. It's going to release on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC this summer. It'll include an encore mode, which changes up some of the levels, 2 new playable characters, which is Mighty and Ray, and it's going to add a 4-player competitive mode, and there will be a physical version available. Now, I didn't know who Mighty and Ray were, because I'm not big into Sonic lore, so I actually had Wikipedia them. Do you guys know who Mighty and Ray are?
All I know is I saw the art for them, and oh my god, they look ridiculous. They
Yeah.
look like knockoff characters.
That's what I thought too. I thought they were fan characters, and I thought for a second Sega held like a contest, like, hey, we'll take the best designs.
Sonic
But no,
would be in.
Mighty is Mighty the Armadillo, and he's a character who appeared in Sonic the Hedgehog series. He makes his first appearance in the arcade game Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. Mighty is a peaceful nature, loving armadillo with a passion for traveling and forest bathing.
And what?
Forest bathing. I don't know.
Forest
This-
bathing.
Forest
Not
bathing?
forced.
Forest, like
Forest
like
bathing.
like the woods, like forest
Bathing or
Eh,
bathing?
It's straight off of Wikipedia.
He has
bathing,
baths in the forest.
like taking a bath.
Okay, I heard forest bathing.
Although he dislikes violence and roughness, Mighty is more than capable when trouble arises. Ray the Flying Squirrel is a character who appeared in Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. He is an anthropomorphic flying squirrel who was captured by Dr. Robotnik but escaped with the aid of his fellow prisoner Sonic the Hedgehog and Mighty and Armadillo. So Mighty is basically a ripoff of Sonic, and Ray is a ripoff of Tails, pretty much. So you got that main guy and then his little sidekick that can fly.
And they both look really stupid.
They do both. No, they do
The
both. look
question
really
is, are they going to include Uganda Knuckles?
no.
They did have a
No.
they did have a Sonic shirt in Forces. So
Did
they
they?
might.
Oh, maybe if it's
They
big
do
enough.
notice the meme.
Isn't that meme kind of?
Yes, it's extremely dead.
Yeah. Dead and like, wouldn't it be like?
It's shameful to say.
Wouldn't like people like
Yeah,
take
yeah, it
offense
is.
to that?
Facebook can ban you for doing the you know the way meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Uganda Knuckles was based off of quotes from a Ugandan movie called Who Killed Captain Alex, which is like kind of a cult film.
Okay.
And the director of it absolutely loved Ugandan Knuckles. He was like retweeting Ugandan Knuckles memes left and right.
Well, we were flying through these through the music. Yeah. Is anyone excited about? Has anyone here played Sonic Mania?
No.
No.
How
Did you?
much Game Grumps played?
I played it. I actually really enjoyed it. Sonic Mania was really good. That was actually probably the first good Sonic game in a very, very long time. I'm not going to get this one, though. So I don't care enough about Mighty the Armadillo or Ray the Flying Squirrel, so... but it's cool that they're doing that. I might watch someone else play it, but not for me. So what this is about is... So we all know that Microsoft has like come out and said, hey, yo, we have a first-party problem. And they address it. They know that they don't have any good first-party games. They've only got like 2 to their name. 3 now with Sea Thieves, I guess. 3 big ones that they're coming out since they like canceled everything Fable and Skylanders. So this game is called Scavengers, which is basically just another Halo game, but it's not Halo. It's just created by Halo people. So Scavengers, former Halo League's new game, is a spiritual successor to Warzone. Warzone is a game mode in Halo 5, by the way. So they took a game mode in Halo 5 and decided to make a game of it, but not call it Halo, so that they could say it's a new IP. It's a massive player versus environment versus player brawl. So basically what that is you're on this team, you want to beat this team, and while you're fighting each other, there's also AI and enemies to fight. So if they think of like a MOBA, I guess, like, there's like blue dragons, green dragons, or whatever there is, and you want to kill those to get buffs or points or whatever. It's kind of like that. So you want to kill certain enemies on the map to kind of give your team an edge over the other team. Basically, what it is, what I think this is their first step into being like, hey, here's an IP. Like, we're starting to fix this zero IP problem.
Yeah, and then they're going in the opposite direction again.
Pretty much. But see, what Sorry.
So they're also going to be like the thing of releasing games on other consoles now, not just Xbox anymore. Microsoft.
Oh,
I
really?
think that was announced yesterday.
Oh, crazy! I did not see this.
Yeah, they're not going to aim for full exclusivity anymore. They said they're going to keep some,
Like Halo.
but a lot
Halo
of like
movies.
Microsoft content will be going on PC. PS4
okay.
and all of that.
Really?
That's one of the big reasons they've been
Like
pushing
what?
for cross-platform.
Like Sea of Thieves.
I'm not sure. They didn't say anything specific. All they did was they used Minecraft as an example. That's
Okay.
one of their
Yeah, yeah.
IPs
I
that's
get that.
multi-platform and it's incredibly successful.
I get that.
They said like IPs can transcend their platform. It's still a Microsoft IP.
That's a bit. That's like, we're the good guys. Like, we're letting you
Well,
play with our stuff.
Their
'cause
wording was
we're the
weird. They
nice
said that
guys.
their IPs can be platform agnostic. I've never heard
What does
that
that
before.
mean?
I guess like if you're agnostic, you don't really have a god. So if you're platform agnostic, you don't have a platform.
So yeah, basically multi-platform.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's-
a really
It's just
pretentious
a dumb
weird
way of
to
saying
say it.
multi-platform. Yeah.
So what, they use Minecraft as a major example, despite the
Because
fact
it's a
that,
Microsoft IP that's
despite
on
the fact that they
everything.
didn't do that.
Yeah, but they own it, so
I think with Minecraft, it's because when they purchased Minecraft, it was already on other platforms. So it's not like they were gonna stop them from being other
But
platforms.
they're going to use it as.
It's
but
basically
it's
they're
basically their example that exclusives aren't necessarily the best thing to make money.
No, they're not.
It's not, because the current, like, I'm not saying Xbox is losing, they're just not winning. So
Yeah.
like, in order for them to want to make money off of, maybe I can't see them doing Halo multi-platform, and I can't see them doing Gears of War, but maybe something like Sea of Thieves, if they want to make the most off of Sea of Thieves, letting people on PlayStation 4 who might be interested in that kind of game.
And they're already
it just
kind
makes
of
sense, because if they buy that game, Microsoft still would, as the developer, would make money off of it.
they were already kind of venturing into that, kind of on their own platform still, by releasing Xbox One games on PC.
Yeah.
But now it'll be like Mac,
Oh yeah, yeah.
PS4 and all that. Mac will finally get games.
Kind of like when Mario Run went on iOS and other platforms that wasn't Nintendo. So I feel like these companies, like the big guys, the big three, are, except for Sony, are just realizing like we can make money if we let our IPs go somewhere else. Like when they let Ubisoft make that Mario Rabbids game,
Yeah.
which was crazy successful. A lot of people liked it.
Really?
Yeah, got great reviews.
Surprisingly.
Because if you were to read that description of the game, you'd be like, no, this is stupid. Like, this is dumb. But then like people loved it. Like anyone who likes XCOM would love this game.
Yeah,
it was like an XCOM player.
it's kind of like a.
No, what? Just Witcher?
I've looked into it.
Just Witcher?
Not just Witcher.
It's kind of
How many
like-
times I've listed off all the games I've played.
It's kind of like
Oh,
intro to
Witcher.
XCOM. It's not quite like the same.
No, it's totally no.
Very difficult.
XCOM has like permadeath for characters, right?
It's quite a bit more simple, but that's not necessarily
Well,
a bad thing.
We do have to keep it is Mario still, so it is still for kids. Where XCOM is aliens invading Earth, so not necessarily for kids.
So it's
The
like
aliens invaded Earth and Jimmy Neutron, that's their kids.
Yes.
a turn-based sort of a.
Yeah, grid, and it's like
Grid-based,
grid-based, turn-based kind of. You move your Mario here, and then if someone's in the range of his blaster rifle,
I have looked at the game, but
Yeah.
I never just grabbed it.
and I don't know, people liked it. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've never played it. Maybe I will pick it up someday, but I'm not really into like grid-based kind of turn-based games. The last grid-based turn-based game I played like that would be the Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's the only one I can really actually. I know you love it. That's the only like grid-based tactical gameplay I can actually. That's the only game I can play through like that. Any other game, I just get bored of it. I guess I don't know.
What about Civ?
No, not for me. Not into those games.
I guess that's a little bit of a different genre as well.
Yeah.
The guys who made Final Fantasy Tactics also made Tactics Ogre, so that's one you could look into.
Maybe.
There's actually a lot more content than Final Fantasy Tactics.
See, I'm not into the whole content thing as I am into it just feels good to level up these job classes and then I can become a ninja.
Well, they
and then I
have
can steal that blood
like
sword.
the same thing. Final Fantasy Tactics was basically Tactics Ogre, but in the
Yeah.
Final Fantasy universe.
Can I get Cloud and Tactics Ogre?
No,
Mm.
but you do have branching storylines.
Okay.
That was supposed to be in there with Final Fantasy Tactics as well, but due to
I don't think I would have liked it if they did that.
development
I like that it's
constraints.
just about Renzo.
Delita was basically your other path. Like what he does
Oh,
throughout
the
the game
bad
is the
guy?
other path you could.
Crazy.
Delita's not bad.
He punched that princess in the stomach, dude. I never beat it. Let's just put this out. I've never beat
Okay.
the game. Delita punched that princess in the stomach and carried her off.
Spoiler alert: he's a good guy.
Okay. Well, that,
Or
yeah.
arguably bad, good guy.
Yeah.
He does bad things for a good reason.
Okay. I want to get back to this though. So back to the whole. This is Microsoft kind of addressing that first party problem. I think this is the first of a few IPs that they're going to announce. I think we're going to get 3 more IPs by the end of E3. So I think we'll know 3 more IPs by them, including this guy. I would not be surprised if come E3 they revealed mode saying like, hey, this is going to have a battle royale. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like you can also just do battle royale, drop in, try to survive. Like it'd be dumb of them not to. How popular Fortnite and PUBG is it's kind of just like they have to do this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. If you release a shooter and your game fails, battle royale.
Battle royale. And if they just make it free to play, if they follow like the Fortnite formula and make that part free, and then like kind of pay for the other part, the story part, and then microtransactions and all that, like I can't see it failing. I also think we're going to get a game that follows the formula of Monster Hunter World because of how successful it is. I think Microsoft can appreciate how well Monster Hunter World is doing, and they want to kind of capture that and do their own thing.
It could have been scale bound.
It could, and I was actually going to say that, and it could have been. So I'm also like fingers crossed. This is like a 1%. Maybe they'll re-announce Scalebound. Maybe they'll see how popular Monster Hunter World was, and they're like, whoa, hold on, like we almost did that. Like let's go back and look at this thing and see if we can revive it.
I'm not quite 50-50 on that because from looking at tweets and everything, Cameo was pissed off about that. But at the same time, that was his dream game,
Yeah.
so maybe if he's given another chance to work on
Maybe.
it, he'd be interested.
I feel like if they give him another chance to be like, okay, but I get to do this. I get this and this because maybe there's things.
Yeah, they'd have to give him like Kojima privileges.
Yeah.
Just do what you want.
Not like
Here's
Konami
money.
Kojima privileges, like Sony Kojima
Yeah.
privileges. Yeah. 'Cause Konami kind of just like not you're right.
What was the
They
reason?
Konami'd him before, so now they need to Sony him.
I don't fully know why Konami kicked Kojima out. I think like wasn't it just like Kojima kind of like what was it?
He runs budgets pretty high. Like
Okay.
his games are
Yeah.
really out there.
Very
as
out
well. Like it's a lot of development time and a big budget. They're going to succeed, but you never know how much because Metal Gear is just a really weird series.
Yeah. Well, it's gone downhill since he's left. So Metal Gear Survive, I think.
Like
I've heard
gone
nothing
downhill
but
is an
bad
understatement.
things about it.
It bombed so hard.
Crashed hard.
I also think what we're gonna get. So I think we're gonna get this game. That's gonna be the battle royale game. I think we're gonna get. Is Monster Hunter World shared world or is it just like you invite people to a party and they go and hunt?
Invite people to party.
So like if you're in like a hub space, do you see other people running around?
You can, but only in like a certain area.
Okay.
There's a certain area that's like your area, and then there's a shared area
Okay.
as well.
So I think they're going to do something along the lines of that, and then I think the next 2 IPs we're going to get are like cinematic solo single-player games with 0 co-op, 0 multiplayer. Because if you look at the PlayStation 4, some of their best-selling games are single-player games with no co-op. Like 4 out of the 5 games that were nominated for Game of the Award or Game of the Year last year, the Game Awards, were single-player, 0 co-op games and none of them were exclusive to Xbox except for PUBG. But that game didn't win. Never should have been nominated anyways. But the other 4 games are single-player games with 0 co-op in them. And I think Microsoft noticed that, and I think they're really going to kind of like hunker down and be like, we need that Nathan Drake character. We need that leaping off of that rock, going for that grab, missing it, and then scrambling, grabbing that last piece, and then your friends worrying about you, and then you being like, hey, I'm okay, just go on ahead. And then they're like, okay, and then they go, and then he's hanging there, and he makes some dumb joke like, all right, now for the easy part. Like,
I'd be
like
interested.
we need that. Like Microsoft needs that kind of character that people can laugh at and relate to.
I'd be interested in a revival of old Rare IP. Like if they were to contact like Playtonic and basically contract them to work on their old games again. I forget about that.
Like what game? What game were you thinking in specific?
Well, with Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey doing really well, and Nintendo's really the only market for games kind of like that.
Yeah. See, but
you could have things like
look
Banjo.
Look at Horizon Zero Dawn on PS4. I would compare that to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Or,
I guess more like
it's
Mario. I don't know why I compared Mario and Zelda.
Zelda to Banjo.
But like, Mario Odyssey did really well as well.
Yeah, I think Mario Odyssey should have been Game of the Year. I think it's better than Zelda. I don't know, man. Like Zelda fell flat for me. I liked it and I really enjoyed it. No, I loved it. I enjoyed it, but I think Mario had more content, and when I beat Mario, I felt like I actually completed something.
I agree.
I disagree.
Why?
I played both. Breath of the Wild is way more fun for me.
Man, but you're not doing like, you're not doing anything.
What's fun in Breath of the Wild compared to the fun that you
The
find
freedom.
in Mario Odyssey?
The freedom, okay.
Maybe it's just like I feel like Mario has a better sense of accomplishment than Breath
I went
of the
up
Wild.
to Lanera Mountains, which is like that giant snowy mountain, and
Yeah.
I shield slid all the way down because it was so much fun. Like,
yeah.
that's one of the things I did that was fun.
In Mario, I did a long jump, then I did a dive jump, and then I threw my hat, did a dive jump, hit my hat, jumped off of it, kept going, threw my hat, did a dive jump, and landed on a platform. That felt good.
But
That was cool.
I feel like
Okay, so
Microsoft,
fair point, but
Microsoft can capitalize on a market that only Nintendo's hitting right now by coming out with like a new Banjo, or even if they want to go for like
I don't think
edgier
Banjo.
and like
They tried.
an older crowd, Conquer.
need I remind you, Banjo 3.
Yeah, Banjo nuts and bolts yet.
Yeah,
They're not gonna do that.
but
No way.
platformers are doing well, like the Crash Insane trilogy.
You'd be crazy. Oh no, I'll save this for later. Never mind.
But I'd love to see a Rare revival, only if they get the right people working on it though.
A what?
Only if they get the right people
No, but
working
what
on it.
game?
A Rare revival.
Oh, but like what? Like Conquers?
Conquer, Banjo. They could even
So
do
just any platformer.
Perfect Dark, even
Ooh.
or like a shooter.
Yeah, but Perfect Dark would end up being like, just like your typical first-person shooter.
Yeah,
They would probably
that's
make
why
it-
I said the
I
right
guess
people
maybe
working on it.
yeah. Joanna Dark could be Microsoft's Nathan Drake. There it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
what are
nice.
these last three games that you've been talking about?
Last 3 games. What do you mean?
Like, I have no idea what
They're-
You never
Banjo-
played Nintendo 64?
You don't know Banjo.
Sorry, they're not The Witcher 3.
They're from a company that went out of business.
No, they didn't go to
Right.
Rare. Rare got
you know how
purchased
like
by
The Witcher 3
Xbox
has
or
bears?
Microsoft.
Banjo is a bear, but like a cartoon version of that.
Yeah.
And he has a bird riding him. I think those are in Witcher 3.
Keaton, what kind of
Sure.
what kind of game, what kind of single player zero multiplayer game could Microsoft make that would make you
Witcher 4.
turn your head?
Oh, they ruined. Besides, Witch is done.
No, but like, what kind of game would make you be like, I gotta play that.
I think more cyberpunk games need to be made.
Like,
Okay.
Like
There's
Cyberpunk
not, like-
20.
Well, yes, there's that, but what surprises me about that is that's the only real big AAA cyberpunk game. I mean, besides
Deus Ex.
besides Deus Ex, that's out there. Fantasy's a big thing, you know.
Licensed Blade Runner game.
That would be good.
Ooh.
Yes.
It would it be like
What?
licensed games have a really bad reputation.
Yeah.
Sometimes
They were just used as ads basically.
there are exceptions though, and hopefully a Blade Runner would be the exception.
But I do love Cyberpunk, and I would love to see more like Cyberpunk games, or Cyberpunk things in general.
So Ben, what kind of game could Microsoft be like? This is our watch this, and then you'd be like, yo, I gotta rewatch that trailer. Like
Microsoft specifically?
Yeah, because Microsoft is the one that's in trouble here with first party.
That's a good question.
And you can compare it to another game on another, like how I
the
compared to
thing is, they
Uncharted.
haven't released something that I've been interested in for so long.
And anything that
like-
looks interesting, they cut.
Everything past the Xbox 360, it's like, oh, that's something I haven't paid attention to.
I
So
get you.
like, What's a game I found interesting in Xbox 360?
It could be even a game right now that you're interested.
Okay.
Something
You're gonna
similar
hate
to that.
this.
No.
Last game I liked from Xbox 360, Call of Duty.
Which one? You can't just say Call of Duty unless you mean the first Call of Duty. But that wasn't
Black Ops 2.
That was an exclusive though.
Black Ops. Well, wasn't? Okay,
No,
my
we
bad.
played on PlayStation.
What?
So the last time you had fun on Xbox was with the game that was
I'm not
Xbox
kidding.
exclusive.
Like, okay, maybe Star Wars Battlefront, but only like the survival mode.
Was that? I don't think that was exclusive either.
No.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't pay attention
So
to
that's
Microsoft.
what I mean. So what kind of game are you in love
Okay.
with right now? That if Xbox had a game like that was only on Xbox. Like you said, you love Breath of the Wild. So
Yeah,
if they,
I'd probably suggest a Breath of the Wild type
Okay.
game then. Like some free roaming, open world map
okay.
with like a little bit of RPG, but not like specific stats.
Have you played Recore?
Have you played what?
Recore.
Haven't even heard of it.
Don't. It's not that.
Okay.
It's a third-person shooter, open world exploration with a little bit of RPG in it. You get a little pet dog, that robot dog that helps you. You hunt down robots.
Is it Microsoft?
Yeah, it's Xbox exclusive. It was like they were like advertising it as like Microsoft's Zelda, and it's just like no,
Oh, no.
it wasn't. You went into like little dungeons and but like it's not that good.
It looked
As
promising.
for
It did look promising. Did you play it?
I didn't play it, but I looked a lot into it when it was
Yeah.
being advertised.
And
it
it-
looked like it could have been cool.
And I play, and I mean, you get like this air dash, and like the air dash feels really good, and you can like you get items like you do in Zelda. Like I've got a hook shot right now, where I can hook shot onto things, and then I have like this other, because your pet dog is basically your items. It's like your Sheikah slate. So I have one dog that can like spider crawl me up along walls. So I ride it, and I can ride this little roller
It's like
coaster.
Mega Man almost.
Kind of, but it's like, but like Zelda, like
So
in
it's
the
like-
3D environment.
It tried to do the cool stuff like Zelda, but didn't really make it that way.
Yeah,
Well, now I want to check it out.
check it out.
What's it called again?
Recore.
Check it out, but don't
Just called
play it.
Recore.
Record.
Yeah,
Am I talking loud enough?
For Xbox.
I don't know, maybe.
as for me, I want to see Lost Odyssey 2.
Sure.
That was one of the two good JRPGs of last generation.
I never played through it. I remember playing like the first bit of it. I rented it from Blockbuster and it crashed. And I was
Oh,
like, really
sick.
mad, and I took it back and they didn't have any other copies, so I got something else.
Huh.
I think I rented Nier instead.
It
I think I
was-
swapped it for Nier.
I think it was the first game that Hironobu Sakaguchi did after he left Square,
Maybe.
and it is so good.
Who did Blue Dragon?
Hironobu Sakaguchi.
That was an okay game.
It's one of those two that's the first that
Yeah.
he did. But Lost Odyssey was really good. It had a really good like ATV battle system, and it was actually 5 people parties with like a front and a back.
Yeah, I
line.
remember that part. So that's your game? You say if they had like that kind of game, that would be the one where you
We need more JRPGs. Oh my god.
yeah. And but like not like super JRPG, like the good ones, like the golden PS1 era
Good ones.
days.
No,
You know,
no,
like-
there's no room for bad ones.
No,
here.
no bad ones. Like none of those like weird like
I don't.
where they're like like I don't want any of that. Like get away from like no, I don't want to hear
Do
you sing
mean,
K-pop.
Like weeby stuff.
Yeah, no weeby stuff, please.
Okay,
Weeby
actually,
stuff can
the,
get popular.
one of
I
the
don't know,
few JRPGs I've enjoyed
Did I
recently.
remind you, Honeycam?
That's
Never
not a
heard of it. What?
JRPG.
No.
Honeycam?
No, it's weeby.
So
You're right. It's not an RPG.
One of the-
you
one
could
of
shut
the
them down
few-
if you wanted.
JRPGs I've actually enjoyed recently, other than Persona 5, of course, did involve J-pop.
See, but
It was
Persona
so
5, I would be willing
cringy,
to try.
except it was actually fun. That was the Fire. It was the Shinigami Tensei and Fire Emblem crossover that ended up kind of being neither Shin Megami Tensei or Fire Emblem. I reeled me in based on those two names and threw J-pop at me. But it was still fun, I guess.
I don't know. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't like. Voice acting is what kills it for me. I think that's what it is. I think that's like if there was zero voice acting, I don't think it would be as weeby as some games come off as.
Well, it also
I
like
guess.
the state of like nerd culture in Japan just got so much more weeby and cringy
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah. Okay, so
Miss 90s Japan.
so this kind of segues into Microsoft still. So we're still talking about Microsoft. They released a statement about their press conference coming up. They said it's going to be the biggest E3 showing ever. So it's going to be their biggest presence. And like when you hear that title, you're like, oh, so like they're just going to be game after game after game. But it's not that. It's like literally their biggest.
They'll
like
bring,
they're going to be
they'll
the
bring
most.
2 cars this time.
Probably. They have the space for it. This is posted right off their website. I'll just read here. Since Xbox made its first appearance at the Electronic Entertainment Expo, which I'll just call for E3 from here on, In 2000, Xbox has had a major presence at the show, delivering exclusive and powerful ways to let fans in on what we're up to, and 2018 will be no different. In fact, it will be our biggest showing ever. With the evolution of E3, now including fans and extended show hours, we saw an opportunity to create an entirely new show experience reaching E3 attendees and those that are following the show from afar. With that, in collaboration with the Entertainment Software Association, the organizers of E3, we're excited to announce that Xbox will be taking over the Microsoft Theater, a perfectly situated space located in the heart of LA, live, and across from the street from the Los Angeles Convention Center. So one thing I want to take from this before we continue is, this entire time, since the year 2000, they have had a Microsoft, or some point after 2000, they have had a Microsoft Theater, which they never thought to use until this point. So every E3, they've always used the Convention Center when they've had this Microsoft Theater right across the street. And then this year, they're just like, hey, we should probably do something with that theater.
You know that theater out back?
Yeah,
We really should use
we
that.
could probably use that. Like, we could probably use that, right? Like, how much does it cost to use that? Oh, it's free?
We
Oh,
own it?
shit. Oh, okay, let's do it. Like that's what I'm getting from that. Like, why did they never do this before? So that's probably where they're going to put their second car. The Microsoft Theater will be home to the official E3 events like the Xbox E3 2018 briefing on June 10th, 2018 at 1 p.m. Actually, I won't read the time zones because that's stupid. Various Xbox FanFest activities, hands-on gameplay and demos for all E3 attendees, and more. Not only does the Microsoft Theater allow us to centralize our Xbox presence at E3, but its size enables us to include even more fans and partners in the Xbox E3 2018 briefing than ever before. In addition to the Microsoft Theater, we'll also continue to have meaningful presence at the LACC, which is the Los Angeles Convention Center, with a new booth completely dedicated to Mixer, where you can play, stream, and interact with games and catch the latest E3 news live throughout the entire week. Not done yet. These changes, expanding our presence, multiple venues, taking over the Microsoft Theater, give us opportunity to bring together a variety of Xbox experiences, into one primary location, and most importantly, let fans in on what we're up to in 2018 and beyond in a fresh new way. So mark your calendars for the Xbox E3 2018 briefing for June 10th to kick off the week of E3 with us. We're excited and we'll have plenty more to share on our E3 2018 plans soon. Stay tuned to Xbox Wire for an update in April. So we'll get more. So it's just, like, I don't know. Like, basically what I got from that is, whatever you can do at the convention center will just be Mixer. That's where you're going to be able to check out our Twitch clone. Because clearly they put a lot of money into Mixer, they purchased it, they want it to be big. It's not going to get big. Twitch will always be the number one, especially since Ninja crushed those numbers with Drake. Drake doesn't even know what Mixer is. But it's just funny to me that they've had this theater, and unless maybe the theater's brand new, maybe they just built it, but I don't think they did. It's just weird to me that they are now just deciding to use that theater when they could have in the past. So
maybe they need that theater to have exclusives in it.
maybe
That's where they've been hiding the exclusives.
that's where all the
this
first
whole
parties
time.
are. That's where the good IPs are. Yeah, Recore 2 was in there. But do you think this kind of feeds into the whole them addressing their first party problems? Do you think they're just like, hey, let's not only make it a larger presence, let's use this space to showcase these 4 new IPs? Because it's got to be at least 4 new IPs that they're showing us.
We can hope. Like,
Either it's that or just like a lot of cars.
Or just a
Like,
lot of cars,
downstairs.
yeah, just Forza. Mixer is just, you're
There's-
watching Mixer in a car, like, yeah.
if
They
these
need
are-
a better E3 than last year.
Yeah,
I swear
I
remember
agree.
last year, like,
biggest,
Sony and Nintendo showing off all their exclusives, Microsoft showing off the new Xbox and a car.
they showed off Anthem. Not an
It's not
exclusive, but they showed it. Yeah, no, they also announced that backwards compatibility. I think that's when they announced Game Pass, maybe, or maybe talked about Game Pass.
I think that was.
I think Game Pass is still fairly new. Maybe it's been around for a while.
But their
I've
idea
just
of
got Game Pass.
exclusives is we used to have exclusives, now you can play them again.
On what?
That was Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
backwards compatibility.
Well, Game Pass is getting better now. So if I actually purchased Game Pass, it's $12 a month. Basically, what it does is when Sea of Thieves comes out, I think soon, it's the 20th maybe, or it's sometime this month. When Sea of Thieves comes out, I think it's the 30th actually. I can just play. I don't have to purchase it. I can play that game, and it will stay in that library forever. So any new first-party game that comes out, I can play as long as I'm paying $12 a month. Which may be like, oh, that's kind of dumb. But if I play 2 or 3 games, 2 or 3 $80 games, it pays for itself there because it's just worth it. It was worth it to me as an Xbox fan and an Xbox owner. Maybe to people who don't really care about Xbox, they're just like, why would you do that?
I don't know, when it comes to if they're going to be announcing these new IPs next E3, like this E3, it doesn't seem like they're going to have much really to show if these are new realizations they're having and decisions they're making.
I think they're quick. I think as designers and developers, I think watching the campaign of Monster Hunter World when it was announced to now, they could tell. They knew. They were like, oh, this is actually going to be probably pretty big. We should start working on something similar to this.
Yeah.
I think they're just like, PUBG is really popular. Let's start working on something that we can integrate a battle royale into. And then Fortnite came and they're just like, let's take that idea too. And then obviously Uncharted's been around forever, and they're just like, let's get an Uncharted guy in there. Let's bring Joanna Dark back. Let's throw her at some rocks, and she just misses, and she's hanging off and making dumb jokes.
I guess if they put teams that are working on vertical slices of games, they can show off something.
And that's the thing too. Like the team making Scavengers, I guess I should say. Like I said, like it was the Halo guy, Josh Holmes. He was the former executive producer of the Halo franchise. I don't think that's like, Oh, by the way, the name of the company is Midwinter Entertainment. That's the studio that's making Scavengers. I don't think Josh Holmes was like, hey, screw you guys. I'm gonna go make my own thing because you're too restrictive. I think that's Phil Spencer, which is like the head of Xbox, sat all the head devs that they have for their 2 games that they make, Gears of War and Halo, and Sea of Thieves, I guess 3, and was just like, guys, we have a first party problem. We need to figure something out. We need new games. And then everyone would raise their hand. And then Phil Spencer says, that isn't Halo, Gears, or Sea of Thieves. And then everyone lowers their hands. And then I think Josh Holmes was just like, I have an idea. And then Phil Spencer's like, great, you are getting this studio. You are going to work on this only. Forget Halo. Do this. What is your game? He's like, it's based on Halo. And then Phil Spencer's like, great, yeah, go with it. Go with it. That's what I think that is. So I don't think I don't think Josh Holmes decided to make the studio. I think Phil Spencer basically told him, this is what you're doing. So I think they're going to segregate their developers. They're going to take established teams that know what they're doing, and
they're going to
segregation did not work before. We got over that in the 60s.
Okay, they're gonna divide up their teams. They're gonna take what they have, group them up in smaller groups, and make these small games, and that's what I think we're gonna get. So that's what I think that is.
We're going to get a bunch of Halo and Gears of War knockoffs then.
We're gonna get Conquer Hunter World and like
Could you
Banjo
imagine?
Royale.
Just a rare royale.
No, just Banjo Royale.
But no, you could be like Conquer and you fly in and you're gonna...
It's a Banjo
It's just Banjo.
Battle Royale game and a Conquer Monster Hunter World game.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sure, you sold
You
me.
could hunt like the Great Mighty Pooh and wherever you are.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so like that's them wanting to expand their presence. That's them saying like, so when they say it's going to be their biggest E3, they literally mean like they're going to have the most floor space because they realize they've had this theater they could have used this entire time. So that's Microsoft. That's their presence. Go for it. I mean, I just hope they actually have stuff to fill that. I hope it's not actually just Mixer in one area and a car in another. I hope they actually have things to show us. Now, so this next one is called. It's just about EA and how they're putting microtransactions back into Battlefront. Yeah. So EA is putting microtransactions back into Star Wars Battlefront 2, but they'll be cosmetic only. So that's kind of better than what it was before. So instead of like purchasing like those weapons and stuff that made you better, like experience boosts or something like that, I'll just read the statement because they released a huge whopping statement. Since release, we've been hard at work making changes based on your feedback to create better games for all our players. Today, we are happy to announce that the Star Wars Battlefront 2 progression update, which includes a complete redesign of the in-game progression system, will begin rolling out on March 21st. So that's in like 4 days.
I'm sure they're happy to announce it.
Yeah. Do you know how nervous they probably were about this? Like they're just like, all right, do it, and then they're just like, and they're just like, oh, we can't look yet. Like we can't let's just let it cool down, and then we'll see what everyone has to say.
Get the naive intern to do this so he knows.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, this is great news. Don't love me now.
They should have done an AMA when they released this announcement.
No, man, they don't want to talk about it. They want to put this out and then just like not talk about it. Guaranteed, they're just like, nope, we're not. Like, because this is hefty. I don't think I'll even read it all. With this update, progression is now linear. Star cards or any other item impacting gameplay will only be earned through gameplay and will not be available for purchase, which is good, because before you could purchase those cards, which just made you better at the game, and now you just have to earn them. Which still sucks that they're in the game, that like, that guy won because he has a thing, but I mean, technically he earned it. You learn experience points for classes, hero characters, and the ships that you choose to play in multiplayer. If you earn enough experience points to gain a level for that unit, you will receive 1 skill point that can be used to unlock or upgrade the eligible star card you'd like to equip. Everything you've earned or unlocked before you'll keep. I'm just going to go through this because it's really long. Crates no longer include star cards and cannot be purchased, so you can't buy those crates anymore. Starting in April, you'll be able to get appearances directly through in-game credits or crystals. The first new appearances are coming soon, meaning you'll be able to grab new looks for your heroes and troopers directly by using either credits earned in-game or crystals available to purchase in-game through your first-party source. So you can purchase the in-game currency, and then you can buy different skins for your character. So I'm assuming like Darth Vader, you'll be able to make him look like Anakin instead of just like Darth Vader. You'll probably get like old Luke from.
Will it be Hayden Christensen?
What? Yeah. Oh, 100%.
No.
It's gonna be him.
You go to
Who else would it be?
Wookiees.
No.
Who else would it be?
It would be
The old guy
It'd be the ghost guy before they turned him into Anakin.
that never held a lightsaber or fought
Yeah.
anyone?
Could be Charlie Hunnam.
He was
He
under
was
the
a
helmet.
runner-up for Anakin.
Yeah,
Would've
they're
been
gonna
so
they're
much
gonna
better.
choose the runner-up for Anakin
Everyone
over the guy
hates
that
Hayden
played.
Christensen.
Oh yeah, no, he was soulless, dead eyes the entire time. I hate.
He
I
might
hate
have been
sand.
Anakin actually.
It gets everywhere.
That would be cool.
Like, come on, dude. Hayden, step your game up. That's really it. All it does is just basically the rest of them is just them like being like, "You're welcome." Like this is them being like basically the rest of it is just like, "You're welcome. We're the good guys again," and then they're just like popping champagne balls and drinking it, thinking
Well,
everyone's
they're
like.
the good guys
Basically,
again.
when they announced this, they basically the way I picture this in my headcanon is they announced this, and then it was just like the end of Return of the Jedi when they're all celebrating with the Ewoks around the campfire and they're all dancing.
That episode
That was
Except
EA.
instead of Ewoks, they're all Sith because they're.
They're all Sith, yeah. It's like if Darth Vader won. But yeah, so how do you think the world is going to react to this?
Not well.
Not well.
EA. I don't think the consumers will never trust EA.
No, I get
Not
that.
even just from this latest thing, but just from every little thing that's happened. EA could say like they're going to be donating to a charity to save puppies, and people would find a way to be like, I hate you, EA. You're awful.
I think that would.
No
I
one-
think people would like them for that. I don't think anyone's saying
No,
anything
they'll
bad
be
about
like,
that.
These people are just doing whatever they can to like. Try
Yeah,
and make
so
themselves
people
look
would
good
say
now.
that, but at least the puppies are getting something.
I think after this,
Puppies are getting microtransactions.
If EA made a donation, it would be one of those like comparisons to Bill Gates. Here's Bill
Sure.
Gates donates 98% of his earnings to this. EA donated 0.002%. That's what people would criticize.
Yeah, sure, yeah, you're right. They would definitely criticize not what they're donating to, literally the amount.
Like the amount that they could spare that they're not.
Like, oh, the EA only donated that much though, which is more than anyone else probably could.
If EA is ever gonna get a good name, I don't know if I can say again. I don't know if they ever had a good name.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it'll probably take at least a decade.
It's gonna take a while.
well, they had a good they had a good name back when like you'd play like hockey on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
and you're like
and EA Sports.
and it's like cool. They
It's
made
in
this
the
game.
game. Yeah,
That was like the last time that you were
It's in
like,
the game.
cool, EA.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
What I was gonna say was after the announcement, like, I think the whole world's gonna react to like, cool, this is what they should have done to begin with.
Mhm.
But a lot of people aren't gonna give it the chance now because
You think so? You think they're not? No one's gonna really do this. Yeah.
like,
No.
I think I think it had like the prime time for a game is when it comes out.
Yeah.
And before
You're
that
right.
when they're developing it. So because they didn't get that huge audience at the start.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like,
Anyone that
and now they're
would.
like, whoops, we screwed up. Now we'll make it normal.
Yeah. Anyone that
People
would
are
have.
gonna be like, not too late.
Anyone that would have bought these things already bought them. Like they
Yeah.
already bought the loot crates at the start of the game before they took them
Yeah.
away. So yeah, their target audience has what they want.
It's now like Overwatch, but without the combat
Success.
enhancements and
yes.
without the success.
Yeah.
Without the success too.
Yeah.
It's also not competitive like worldwide.
No, that game is not competitive. That game's not
Yeah.
fun.
That's why it's not gonna.
I feel if I like
Grow.
whenever I played the demo a lot, and anytime I played, I felt so insignificant. I feel like it didn't matter what I did in that game. My team would win, I'd be like, great, how? like what did we do?
Cool.
Like, how did we do that? Or we'd lose, and we'd be like, well, like shit. Like what could I have done different? Like I don't know. I feel so insignificant in that game. So it just
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't have that draw to that game.
I think it's too little, too late. I think
Yeah.
they kind of ruined the name of Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
The original one with not having a story mode and barely having any content, and then with
You-
this new one,
I wouldn't even consider this one a story
the
mode.
DLC, and the DLC, from what it was then and the huge reaction to it, and now what it is with actual microtransactions being all cosmetic. It's like if they released Star Wars Battlefront 2 and said, for each copy that people buy, we're going to kick a puppy. And now they're like, okay, we're not kicking puppies anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
you just get the game. And now it's like, you know what, you guys were also the guys who kicked puppies.
Yeah. Will there be a Battlefront 3? Are we going to get a Battlefront 3?
If they're naive enough to think it'll work, then yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes?
There's going to be another one.
Keaton, would you play Battlefront 3?
If whoever made the originals also worked on Battlefront 3 with exclusive, privileges.
I don't think that team makes games anymore. I think that team got dissolved, like absorbed, and then dissolved, and then they got spread out amongst.
Yeah, that was
like
a
EA.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not around anymore.
Yeah.
So they'd have to reform that company.
Wasn't it Pandemic and BioWare were one, and then basically they combined and they called it like BioWare Pandemic, and then they're just like, actually, let's just call it BioWare.
Can't recall. That was one of the huge companies that was dissolved by EA.
I think that's what happened.
One of the other things that lost EA a lot of respect with people.
Yeah.
Even though, like, they don't know the whole story, like, those companies were doing bad financially. It's just, on the outside, it looks like EA took those companies and destroyed them.
Yeah, I think, like, if I remember correctly, what happened was some guy who was like a head guy at EA left EA, and he wanted to start his own company, so he started Pandemic and BioWare. And then EA started like dipping and going downhill once this guy left. And these two companies started doing really good. So EA was like, yo man, you gotta come back to us. So we're nothing without you. Because I don't think they left on bad terms. I think it was more just like, hey, I want to go try my own thing. They're just like, yeah, sure, like, we'll be fine. We kind of know what we're doing. And they're just like, no, we don't. Actually, like, come back. And he's like, okay. And then he came back and he's like, hey, you know what we should do? We should purchase those two companies I started and then get them to make games for us. So he made a lot of money off of that, actually. Because basically EA paid him to get those companies under the EA name, which they then got rid of Pandemic and made it just BioWare. So if I'm remembering this correctly.
Yeah, they took over a bunch of companies back in the day, which the people who ran EA back then aren't around anymore, and it's people who are supposedly better. Although with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 stuff, I'm not sure if they're that much better. At least they're not like eating companies.
Yeah, like
anymore.
can't like cool games like that Amy Hennig Star Wars game that was gonna be like Uncharted. It was gonna be basically your Han Solo, not you
Yeah,
were
but
Han
how do
Solo.
you fit
But
microtransactions into
that's
single
why they
player?
stopped. That's why they cut it out. They're just like, how do we make money off of this? They're like, well, you sell it. Like, okay, but then how do we continue to make money off of it? Like,
That was the one that was
EA.
going to be like a single player story.
Yeah.
Right? And that looked actually really cool. Like
It did.
You were playing like a Han Solo, like sort of.
like you were Uncharted. You were
Yeah,
Drake.
yeah, it was that kind of thing.
It had that scene
They
of you
even-
jumping for that rock and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
missing it and grabbing it and him saying something stupid to Chewie and Chewie being like, and then Han being like, now for the easy part. Like they
Yeah.
had that. They had
that
that
game
scene.
looks great.
And EA goes like, no, you can't make money off that. Like, come on.
What if that rock was a microtransaction?
Yeah. Without it, you just that was
Pay
the
$1
end of the
to
game.
grab it.
Yeah.
Pay $1 or don't pay $1 to miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if this is gonna bring Battlefront 2's name back into the glory, if it ever was. I do think we are getting a Battlefront 3, and they're gonna be like, once they make a Battlefront 3, they'll be like, you're welcome. Like, here, this
Actually,
is what you wanted.
Nobody's
You're
gonna pay
welcome.
attention to it.
No, you're right. It's gonna they're gonna announce it at E3, and everyone's just gonna be like,
Did EA already lose the license to Star Wars games,
I don't
or
think
is
so.
it something that is rumored to be happening?
it might be rumored to be happening.
Because I heard about that a while ago.
I heard about it
I
too.
believe it. Like
I believe it.
Disney would probably want to separate their names from
Yeah.
EA.
Yeah, it's almost something like I almost want to see what someone else can do with Star Wars. I want to see what another company can do with Star Wars.
That's fair, yeah.
Like, it just because like right now what EA has done with it is just Battlefront, and like that's.
I remember. I
Give
watched
it to Sony. Have
I mean, I
Naughty
guess
Dog
BioWare
work
has
on
like
a single
SWTOR.
player like Star Wars game.
Sony, yeah. Or Insomniac,
Give
like
me out.
Insomniac made a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Give it to From Software. Bloodborne,
No.
but Star
Cool.
Wars.
Let's
Come on.
Yes!
Come on.
Yes!
You know that'll be good.
Yes! Are you kidding?
Like a third person Bloodborne, but like all Star Wars related?
Yes!
Come on.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm
that
in.
wouldn't
You
be
sold
horrible
me.
at least.
You sold me.
How are you gonna do like
The Force? Easy.
kind of horror-esque
Doesn't have to be horror.
stuff?
It could just be
That's,
sci-fi.
that's what From Software
Okay,
does.
well-
Everything is like
Man, it's a
horror.
galaxy filled with planets. There's some weird planets out there that we have not seen yet.
Yeah, they don't have to follow the story.
Yeah.
They just take the concept.
So wait,
I
you're
don't
just
want that.
you're just talking about like a Force user crash lands on a planet and
Maybe
Like,
it's not even.
that would make it fitting to like.
Maybe it's not even
no
canon
story
characters.
or no
Yeah,
front-loading
exactly.
story.
And the whole, like, there's still light side, dark side, and you're just kind of like on this planet. You don't know what you're a Force user yet, but something's drawing you to, like, you're just moving around.
Because
And something's speaking to you.
Well, because if it's not like just a random planet you crash land on, then it's gonna have to not follow how From Software makes their Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Oh, it would be so good.
Because
It would
of
be
Right?
so good. Yes, I'm in.
I would
I'm
totally give it a
I'm
chance.
all
I-
in.
Sorry. I wouldn't. Because of all the hate Star Wars gets, and because of all the love Star Wars gets, like I wouldn't guarantee it to be good or bad.
I
But
think
would
people would
totally
like-
give it a chance.
People would like that game better than
Totally
like the
give it a
new
chance.
Star Wars.
Give it to
games.
Microsoft and have the people who worked on Fable work on
Eh.
Star Wars RPG.
Eh,
And keep
eh,
it away from FromSoft, please.
like, eh. I
That,
would much
that,
rather
that could
FromSoft.
be their new exclusives. They're
Oh.
the exclusive Star Wars platform.
What, Microsoft?
If you,
Yeah.
if you want Star Wars
No.
games, you gotta buy
No,
Xbox.
that's a bad idea.
No, I don't think they'll do that. They Microsoft doesn't want to.
That'd be bad for Star Wars and Microsoft.
About like Star Wars as well. EA owning Star Wars. I remember, like maybe a year ago or something, there was like a spotlight video on everything EA was doing with Star Wars, and it's like, yeah, we have so much on the back burners.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We have all these companies
they
making,
showed, like, little
making different
clips.
Star Wars games
Oh,
and
yeah.
clips of good stuff that was going. Now it's just like,
Just Battlefront
yeah, we're
2.
making nothing now.
Yeah,
we're just putting out some
We canceled everything there.
shitty Battlefront games.
They hired those like that. It showed like a clip of that guy like working on the computer. He didn't he's literally just like doing this. He didn't work for
I
them.
love
It's
those
just an
acting
actor. It's just like, and like an R2 just like rolls up beside him, or like a BB-8 and they like fist bump. Like no, like, get out of here, come on. Yeah. So
So
There's
yeah,
that.
those stock gifs of like the person working on the computer. They like
Stock
type out some
photo.
words. Yeah, stock photo. And then they move the mouse a little bit, and so somebody
I'm just like,
somebody overlaid what they're actually typing out. It was just some gibberish.
Yeah,
And then they move
it's a
a little stupid loop on the, like the mouse is actually what they made.
Yeah, there's actually a guy coding in HTML.
pretty much. Yeah, it's just stupid. I remember that video, and I remember thinking like, no, show us a game. Don't tell us you're working. Like, anyways, so the next one kind of ties into what we talked about last week when we talked about crossovers, like games doing like tie-ins and stuff like that, and how dumb it was, like all the, like the Final Fantasy 15 Sims one, which is just straight stupid. This isn't so stupid. Basically, this is Devil May Cry's Dante will be coming to Monster Hunter World. So they're having a crossover event later this year. You'll be able to earn his stylish coat and sword, and it acts as a powerful charge blade. And also, Geralt is coming to Soul Calibur 6. So there's that as well, which we kind of knew, because I think who makes The Witcher games? It was
CD Projekt
CD
Red.
Projekt Red. That's it. Yeah, because they did that tweet where they're just like, wouldn't it be cool if Geralt wasn't in a Witcher game? And everyone's like, oh, so he's in Soul Calibur. And they're just like, no, he's not. It's like, no, he's not. Like, but like he is, because it just made sense. There's a lot of leaks and rumors about it. But they teased on Twitter for the first time ever that Geralt might appear somewhere else besides the Witcher game. Soul Calibur 6 seems like the likeliest choice since given the series pension pulling in. It just talks about how like Zelda's been, or Link's been in there, so or Yoda's been in there, and Spawn, and they had like Darth Vader, they had Kratos even from God of War, which is weird because a lot of people thought maybe, hey, wouldn't it be cool if they brought like the Dark Souls guy in, like the Knight, if he was in Soul Calibur, which he would fit. Geralt's a way better fit, but and actually they're making a big deal. Like Geralt's on the main cover of the box.
Yeah, I think they
Like,
did that with like Yoda and
Yeah, they did.
Darth Vader as well.
Yeah,
And Link.
and like on the GameCube.
I don't know about Kratos.
I don't know either. But the same voice actor, Doug Cockle, he's gonna voice Geralt as well. So basically, what I'm going to do last time, what I did was I came up with a list of games, tie-ins, and we just kind of went about and said whether or not we thought it was dumb or not. This time, I want to go one by one and kind of we each come up with an idea. Like you come up with a game that ties in another game somehow. So like earlier, I was saying like, wouldn't it be cool if like Microsoft did like Metroid? If they were given the rights to do a
No.
Metroid game,
No,
first
no,
person.
no,
No,
no.
That'd be
you don't think
cool.
so?
No.
You don't think
No,
it's 343?
no.
Okay, alright. Okay. What if, now hear me out. What if Metroid you were able to get, and this is on the Switch, not by Microsoft, so whoever's doing it, whoever's working on it.
Master Chef skin.
No.
No, I was gonna say you get Mega Man's Blaster. What if you could get Mega Man's blaster?
You mean like a mini
Very
crossover?
cool.
Yeah, just like tie-in items, like how you can
Okay.
get like Dante's gear in
Okay.
Monster Hunter.
Okay.
So something like that. Like, what if you could get, like, yeah, it's Metroid, but you were able to, like, a tie-in item or like an event item would be Mega Man's blaster, and it was his bullets. You could charge it up just like Mega Man could.
Yeah, like Metroid could wear his
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that too, but like, if it's first person, if Metroid Prime 4 is like first person, you can't really, like.
Yeah,
all
but
you'll
then
be
if
able
you
to
see
is
a
just the
mirror, maybe it won't actually be broken.
blaster. Maybe, or when you go in a little ball, you're a little blue ball.
Blue balls.
I feel like that's more of an Easter egg. Like,
But it'd be like a time, like they would announce just like, hey, next week if you do this in the game, you can get Mega Man's blaster. Like they would announce it.
is that permanent or just for that week then?
That permanent. It's permanent.
No, I
like
mean,
starting next week, you
Oh,
will
okay.
be able to do this thing. Kind of like in Monster Hunter World. It's
Monster
like
Hunter
permanent.
is weekly though.
Oh, is it
They do
weekly? So you can only do.
events.
Oh, then they'll do a weekly event.
They
Yeah,
will
sure.
come back,
Yeah.
but it's weekly events.
Then we'll keep it like that. So I just kind of want to go one by one. If you guys can think of a game and then a tie-in item. Don't be afraid. Keep them.
But you do one first.
Where
I
else?
think
could-
it was yours
where else?
Yeah, my
could
mom
I
might
go?
Samus and Mega
Okay,
Man blaster.
Metroid and Mega Man.
Yeah.
Can't think of
Geralt and Dark Souls. There's your idea.
Okay, that would actually be cool.
Yeah.
Except, I don't know.
Oh, I think
We can come back to it too if you want. Do you want to sit on it? We'll come back.
Yeah,
to it?
yeah.
Okay. Do you have one?
Smash 5.
Okay. All right. I should have said this. We're gonna avoid like games obviously with times and stuff
Okay,
like
fine.
that. Like trying to think of something that's never been done before, or a game that hasn't done a tie-in item. Like, you know how like Mario in Super Mario Odyssey, you're gonna be able to get Link's clothing in a future update, things like that. But you can't say that.
I have a better idea for this. Yeah, it's the same thing like Geralt being in a Dark Souls game, except make him one of the AI invaders and have him. And he's not just like a normal AI invader either. He's got to be special, so they actually give him all.
He's voice acted.
Yeah, he's voice acted. They give him all the movesets Geralt has, so he
The two swords.
He actually swings his.
An Igni.
Yeah.
Yep.
He can use his different abilities like
That's a
that.
good one. I like
and
that.
it's custom abilities, so it's stuff you can't even use or have never seen before.
And then, like, do you get his gear, or do you get the ability to summon him in a boss fight later?
I think almost the option of both would be cool. People would want that.
Yep. Cool. I like that. That's a good one.
The only upcoming game I could think of, it's not released yet, but the WarioWare one for Switch.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Just put Kirby in there.
Yeah.
Like, just put Kirby in this
All
one.
right. All right.
Like,
nice.
they've never been. Wait. They've never been crossed over. They're both.
Mario and Kirby.
Yeah, no.
Sure. You're right.
Other than Smash Bros.
No, that doesn't count.
They've never, like, they're both from Nintendo.
Yep.
They're completely opposite universes, but why not?
Yeah, you could probably get some fun
Kirby's a fun-loving character. Wario minigames.
You could get some
like,
fun Kirby-based games too, like sucking things up and
Yeah.
inhaling them and spitting them out. Yeah, sure. So yeah, they could come up with some kooky ideas. Okay.
I don't think it would ever happen, but
No, but you sold me on it. I could see Kirby being in a
Cool.
WarioWare game.
it's that easy to sell.
Not Wario in a Kirby game, but Wario or Kirby in a WarioWare game. It wouldn't work the other way. I do not think Wario would fit in a Kirby
You
game.
could though, because like Wario's greedy, and so are DDD and Meta Knight.
Maybe if Wario was the bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
Not for the whole game,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Okay.
who knows?
Beautiful Joe in Monster Hunter. You can dress your cat up as Beautiful Joe.
Okay. Sure.
Dress
yeah.
your cat.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're able to dress up as Mega Man, I guess. I mean, yeah. Yours isn't very like original or inspired, but like.
Yeah, but I just thought of something. I
Two
could-
favorite characters, both games.
Yeah. Something original and inspired.
Bloodborne and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan is now a bot. Is now?
Are we doing like that far for
Uh,
crossovers?
Sure.
Like an
If
entire
that's all
day?
you can think of,
Obi-Wan
sure.
is now the boss.
we
where
could do
Father Gaston
that.
was.
What how are we doing for time?
It is 8:50.
Cool. Wow. Okay. Yep.
A behemoth in Monster Hunter World. Fight like a Final Fantasy behemoth.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That could
And I
work.
like that. I like
could
that.
work.
That could work very
Yeah.
well. And I could see them doing that. I could see them the way that they're force feeding Noctis into anything they possibly can.
Please don't put Noctis
They
in
will.
Monster Hunter World.
They will.
I don't want
100% they will.
it. I don't want it.
They will though. That's
What is-
that's the thing. They will.
What's Noctis?
Noctis is the main character of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
Last week we talked about how they force fed him into everything possible, like The Sims. So If you were to play if you play The Sims right now, you can get Noctis's outfit from Final Fantasy 15 in The Sims. If you were to purchase Final Fantasy 15 on the PC through Origin before May 1st, you get clothing from The Sims that Noctis can wear.
The iconic llama outfit.
Yeah, llama something, I can't remember. They were dumb names. So I just made fun of Final Fantasy 15 is a bad game. I'll say it. I don't like that game. They spent too much time on it, and it's not what it should have been. And they're force feeding like Noctis and Tekken. Sure, that's kind of cool. Noctis and The Sims is not cool. Those are, yeah, I don't want to get into it again. Yep.
One thing I can say about these crossover or I guess basically advanced Easter eggs. One thing I can say is if you're gonna do that, you better do it well, and so fans appreciate what they're using, right? It has to be. You can't just throw in, say, my Geralt in Dark Souls is an AI enemy. You can't just call him Geralt and have him swing his sword like some crazy other Banshee enemy in Dark Souls. You have to do it kind of like in Soul Calibur, the trailer. I looked at his sword swinging movements, and it's like they studied how he works in his own game.
So yeah, they basically
make him. If you're going to do something like that, you have to create the item or character how they work.
Gotta keep it authentic. Yeah.
Unique animations.
Yeah, unique animations.
Otherwise, it's just a dumb skin. That's just
otherwise it's a skin, right?
That's fair.
That's why I think he would need to be voice acted.
I think most companies would do that.
I think so too.
They wouldn't just cheaply put him in there.
Especially a character like Geralt. Yeah. They know people would want that.
Especially iconic things.
Yep.
Right? You can't just do that.
That's all I have for news. So if anyone has anything that maybe I missed or they really want to talk about, you can bring it up now.
Far Cry 5.
Sure. Yeah, sure. What about it?
I mean, there hasn't been many new announcements or anything, but a few details have come through in the past week or so about how. I mean, who knows with Ubisoft, but they're making an effort to make it less.
Are we a Ubisoft family or are we an Ubisoft family?
I don't know.
Ubisoft. He said Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
He said Ubi. I've said Ubi.
No,
I said Ubi.
he said Yuba.
Ubisoft.
That really
Ubisoft.
bothered me.
Ubistank.
That's the second cousin twice removed. Get out of here.
So Ubi.
Yeah.
Ubi. Okay.
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like there have been some good stuff in the previous Far Cry games. Well, especially the first and second were the real good ones. But as it goes on, it turned into more of an open world grind where it's just go to the next tower and uncover this area.
Mm-hmm.
Got to go clear out this camp to get the missions moving on, whatever. But I like what they seem to be doing with Far Cry 5 is literally just taking out the mini map, taking out the towers to open up their new areas, and they're focusing more on just exploring the next thing you see that looks cool, which is the right way to do open world, really. That's
So Zelda did it.
design sense. Yeah,
I mean, they still had the towers and stuff where you can unlock that.
Yeah,
map,
they
but
still have that stuff, but
it didn't seem tedious.
it's mostly all about just
That's the fun.
go to
part.
the next thing.
I would be
looks
running
interesting.
towards a tower and something would catch my eye.
Yeah.
That's the fun. That is the fun part. That's what I see that when you're talking about that. But I still think Mario's a better game. But I'd be running towards something and then I'd be like, all right, I just gotta go there. But then I'd be like, whoa, wait, and I'd go this way and then I would discover something else.
Is it a shrine?
Like,
I can do
oh,
a
it's a
quick
shrine. Yeah, I can do a quick shrine right now. And then you get up and like, where was I going? I was like, I think that looks cool. And then you run by, you're like, oh no, I was like, yeah, but then there's that.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You make your own schedule.
Sure.
And from the looks of what they were emphasizing in Far Cry 5, it's basically going to be kind of like the Breath of the Wild open world style, except you're going places to shoot people, pretty much.
Yeah. And all the DLC looks really cool too.
Yeah, the DLC looks amazing.
Yeah.
There's going to be
It's weird stuff.
Of
Weird
course,
stuff.
there's the obligatory zombies.
Yeah.
Is that going to be like a zombie world or mode or something?
The details they released on it, I think this is for all the DLC, so I don't think they're like story contained DLCs. I think what it is like go in and do as much as you can in this amount of time, or try to get as far as you can, and then basically you have a score that you're trying to rack up each time.
Just stuff.
So it's I guess it would be like the zombie mode where you like kind of get waves and you can unlock. I think that's how they're gonna set it up. It would be the easiest way to set up especially since they talk about these 3 DLCs so fast for the games even out. That's what I think.
So you're thinking maybe even the Vietnam and Mars run might be sort of.
I think so too. I think it's just like you're just in this one little area and then you fight off waves and then you come.
That could make sense actually. I mean, one would think they'd make a DLC in Vietnam with story, but it could work with just,
Could,
you know...
I mean,
it,
it could be
if
NPCs
you hop
there.
in Vietnam, you could just be... Your mission is to run through and kill as many Viet Cong as
That's
you
what I
can.
think what it is. I think
thought we were past zombies as like a pop culture phenomenon.
We'll never be past that.
Hopefully
I
soon.
want to be past zombies.
no, not yet. No,
It's
game's not
it's
done
less common.
yet. It is way less common. I
Which
mean,
is
we've got-
making like it hold on longer. Now that not everyone's doing it, it's like, oh, it's not as like ubiquitous anymore. It's kind of more.
I think we're just in
fringe
a-
thing
we're in a
again, so
lull
it's
right
cool
now.
Again.
So right now we're in the lull, and we're coming back up because we got Last of Us 2 coming out. We got Days Gone coming up. We've got
No one's excited for Days Gone.
Dead by Days
Dead
Gone.
Dead by Daylight 2.
No, Dead by Daylight's
No,
that multiplayer
wait.
game.
Yeah.
With Jason.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Something 2.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is like an open world zombie shooter, I think.
Isn't that State of
Because we
Decay?
don't-
State of Decay 2,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah, State of Decay 2 is coming. Like the zombie games are coming back. We're just in that lull. Dead Island 2 is supposed to come at some point. Still not here. They put a reveal trailer years ago. I don't think we ever got it.
I mean, the first one wasn't that amazing either.
No.
The best thing about the first one was the trailer.
The best thing about the first one was jump kicking someone. Like a zombie running at you, and you would run at them, and you could literally drop kick them. And they would just like, and like fly on the ground, you'd both be on the ground, you'd get back up, and you would just keep drop kicking them. That was the best part.
What's the absurd zombie game series out there? What was that?
Dead Rising.
Yeah, Dead Rising. Those are fun to play.
The first
that's
few,
the
yes.
sandbox type. Like
Yeah.
you also you have objectives, but you can also just screw around for
Yeah,
a bit.
you just build, like you put on Mega
Make
Man
an
armor.
explosive teddy bear because why not?
Yeah. That's fun.
I loved using I think there's the katana in that.
Yeah.
And it was just absurd how you could hop into a crowd of zombies and cut down 20 of them at a time.
Oh yeah.
Like, games like that can be fun if done right.
Those are the best kind of games.
Are they
No.
Yeah.
the best kind? That's a
Where you're
big.
just like, I don't feel like trying. I don't feel like thinking right now. I just kind of want to swing I just want to take two katanas together and run around in a circle.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah. Like you're too hungover to do anything. Like we were talking about like Animal Crossing last week being a good hungover game. Dead Rising is a good hangover game
Yeah, true. You can just,
because you don't have to think too hard.
you don't even you're not even in danger all the time.
No.
You can just
You kind of want to be
you
in
can
that
just,
danger.
yeah. You
It's
can,
getting
you can
boring
just,
unless you're like literally got zombies on you.
I like hopping into the big machinery as well and just
Driving
driving
through
slowly
people, yeah.
forward through a crowd of zombies.
Anyways, I think that's it for news. I think we're ready to go on to. Are you ready to? You haven't used that shutdown card.
Yeah, no.
yet.
I was.
You
I
can use it, right?
realized after the whole Star Wars Dark Souls thing, I was like, I could have played that.
You could have.
bad.
So now we are going to transition into the Games Club, and we have to do this. I'm sorry. I've researched how to transition host privileges and responsibilities, and the best way is literally through rhythm. So I have to start a rhythm, and you guys have to continue this rhythm to Brenton. Otherwise, it doesn't work, and we're gonna do it until we all do it.
Superstition.
It is superstition. I looked it up.
Oh,
I looked it up.
gracious.
Looked it up. It's the best way to transfer host privileges and responsibilities.
I think you have to
Or
physically
what?
get up and
Is the
walk away.
podcast ghost going to come and get us?
It's just gonna look weird. The quality will be bad. It's like 360p again. That's why it was such
What?
bad quality. That's why it's such
No.
bad quality last
Oh,
week.
boy.
Didn't transfer through rhythm.
Sinjin. Your thing is finger guns. Yeah, so just do it.
Anyways, so here we go. So this is how it is. I'm gonna start drumming a beat, and then Keaton, you're gonna start, and then Ben, you start, and then Brennan, you start, and then I'm gonna stop, and it's just gonna be a rhythm. That's how we're gonna transfer this. It's the only way. See, I looked it up.
There are so many other ways.
I'm gonna-
And you know what? I'm gonna look into more. There's definitely different ways, but it always has to be a rhythm.
I'm going to office the camera right now.
Go ahead. And we're starting. Okay, but we need quiet too. So. Sure. As long as it's rhythm.
Okay.
Success.
Yeah, I feel different now.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh boy.
So it is the Game Club now, the segment where it didn't really exist last time. But I did announce last time that we were going to be playing As Your Dreams, which is an old PS1 RPG. And
We all played it.
we're each going to get a chance to talk about it, and then I'll announce a new game for the next time. So, Sijin, we'll start with you.
I was really into it when I was playing. So when I was playing it, and I was like, the starting was a little slow. It had a few weird cuts where they'd be saying something and all of a sudden it would skip ahead like 15 years. And you'd be like, oh, you had a boy, and then it would just go
You
black,
must
white, and then
always
you're
take-
15, and then your dad's gone.
You must always take care of women.
Yeah, you must always take care of women, and all of a sudden he's gone, and I'm like an adult now. And then once I got to this, I was like, okay, I kind of got lost in the town because I knew I had to go to the tower, and I didn't know where to go. So it never really told me where to go. So I literally combed every wall until I found the tower.
Oh no.
and then so I got to the tower, and then my familiar came, my little monster friend. You get in this game, you get a familiar, which is a monster. You can tame monsters in this game, and they help you fight bad guys in the tower. So then I was going through the tower, did the tutorial. The tutorial took a little long, but I was kind of feeling it. And then once I started fighting guys, it kind of felt good. There's a few instances where I swear I like pressed diagonal towards a guy and then hit the button to swipe, but I would swipe down and miss, and then he would hit me. So that kind of sucked. But I think I progressed like 5 or 6 levels. So I felt good. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of into this. And then my familiar died. And then I was like, oh. And then I was like, whatever. I'm sure I got to continue or a checkpoint at some point in this tower. And then I went up to the next level, and then I died. And I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll just continue from my checkpoint. And then I woke up in my bed. And I was like, hold on. I was like, wait a minute. Why am I in the bed now? Because it said like, oh, you're just completely out of energy. It's like, okay. And then it was the same opening sequence. She drop kicks me. She wakes me up, and then I'm like, oh no, like, am I gonna have to talk to the old guy? And then I go up to the room, and the old guy's not there. I was like, okay, maybe not. Maybe this is a checkpoint. And then I have no gold. I have no items. I have no monster friend. I'm like, oh, what? So I went back to the tower, and I got no more familiar. And I was just like, whoa, like, this game hard kills you. Like, it hard kills you. And then I checked out. And then I was like, okay. I spent like half an hour. So I liked it. I was progressing. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But it didn't give enough explanation that it didn't give me checkpoints per level, and then I had to go and save.
Yeah, it's one of the early roguelikes.
It was also really hard to figure, like, once I learned, like, because I was like, okay, how do I save? In case I didn't want to play again, I don't want to go through that opening tutorial. I talked to everyone, then finally I talked to my mom, and then she let me save. So I was like, oh, okay. But, like, it's not like, what's weird is you have to talk to your mom, and you kind of have to, like, select, like, 5 dialogue options just to get to save.
Yeah.
So that was
But
so
it does save after you finish each floor as well. But the interesting thing is I didn't see this early in any early games. It doesn't let you cheat. If you saved and then you died, it won't return you to the tower where you saved. It'll return you to the town.
But do I still have all the stats and everything from when I saved?
If you died, no.
So what's the point of saving?
What the heck?
It'll save, like, if you're saving and you actually quit the game and then you go back to into it, you'll return to the tower. But if you save and then you decide
you just want to risk it?
To just load it back, you're not in the tower anymore. It basically stops you from cheating.
Okay.
So you're like, oh, I died, I'm going to go back to the last save.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Weird. That's so weird. So that was my experience. I'd probably, out of a 10, I'd give the game like a 6. Just because while I was actually progressing and doing it, it did feel good. I did have fun. The combat was kind of like I pressed the 2 buttons to heal myself, and then like they would come at me while I was healing myself, and so like the monsters, because what you can do is you can press the 2 buttons and you can heal yourself, like your health goes up. But while you're doing that, it uses turns, and every time you move, the monster moves, and that counts as a turn. So sitting there every second is like a turn, and they move. So I did that, and I don't. It felt good to progress. I just wish I understood the permadeath mechanic, because I didn't. I would have played way more. I would have actually healed my familiar, because I didn't really care to heal. Also, I didn't know how to make him attack for the longest time, so it was really just him taking hits and me hitting back and the bird not doing anything.
Yeah.
But then after the bird died, I stopped having a fire sword, so...
Yeah, because
he breathed fire
the first AI setting, like, that's default, is that they'll back up your attacks by like, powering them up. Also, he did not permanently die. They just unset him as your chosen familiar, so you have to go back into your like familiar area and choose him. Because every time you go into the tower, you choose familiars to take with you.
Okay. That was my experience.
I don't know how I got all of that as a kid, but it does do a kind of bad job explaining like the intricacies of the game.
I'll be honest, I only played this for like a half hour.
That's fine. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
20 minutes of which were like the horribly long front loading.
Tutorial, yeah.
I did notice a few things, like I played through like the tutorial area and a bit more, Now, what I was more judging was the mechanics of the game and generally how it worked for its time. I was kind of surprised, being from like somewhere in the 90s it came out, right? I think something like that. How you could actually
Would have been late 90s.
yeah late
On
90s.
PlayStation 1, like probably 96, 97.
Like for when it was, I'm surprised like how they did the you could actually change your view angle and it would like almost alert between them. It wasn't even just a hard switch.
Yeah.
You could actually see your sprite moving and it would like change the whole direction. I like that. And one other thing I noticed that was kind of weird was as I was walking through the tower, basically the dungeon area, was tiles and such on the edges of my screen would fade out and in, like in my camera view. I'm not sure if that was like a glitch or something specific to me, but it was kind of odd because it was like there was no floor there, and then I moved that way a little bit more and they load in or something.
I don't know. I never ran into that.
Yeah. So it was just some of that kind of thing.
Like render distance almost?
Yeah, almost like a render distance.
Like it was culling it.
Yeah, something like yeah, pretty much calling, but too close.
Okay.
I vaguely remember something like that, so you might not be wrong.
It's more like as it gets to the edges of your screen, they don't want it like impeding view in any way, so they make those tiles just not exist.
No, I see. So like if it's a wall or something covering your view, they just cut that over.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah,
that
that's
makes
a smart
sense.
thing to do. It's better than having a wall. What am I doing?
Other than that, well, obviously, it seemed like it had alright like mechanics and everything, but I didn't really play it for too long just because there's so many games nowadays that can go much further with the technology now. So it's just a little bit boring of a game now. That's pretty much what I have to say.
What would you rate it out of 10?
I have a hard time rating things like that.
Just
Like-
compare it
like-
compare it to another game.
It's hard to compare that to another game.
Yeah,
actually.
I guess. Compare it to a game that you would rate out of 10, like 10 out of 10, and another game that you would rate 1 out of 10.
This game is not as good as Witcher 3.
Yeah, so like
It's not even Witcher 3 specifically.
no, it is.
It is.
I like the Witcher universe. And I've played like all the games.
Which is your favorite Witcher game?
4.
Game 3.
Okay. Okay.
The
Okay.
books and everything.
What would you rate? What would you?
The
What would
books
you?
and everything.
What would you?
Guys, I read the book and the game and played the
What would you rate Azure Dreams?
The books are better.
Give it a rating.
game. For that shutdown.
I would rate Azure Dreams. See, if I was playing it when it came out, I would rate it a 6, maybe.
Okay.
If I'm playing it now, I rate it a 3 or 4.
See, it's so hard to like. It's not fair to compare it to modern games.
Mm.
I think that's why I gave it a 6, because comparing it to other games around its era.
That's fair. Like,
Yeah.
I'll start. If I was a kid and I had picked this up, I played a lot of stuff. Like I played Shrek Kart Racing, so I had
You
no
also
open mind
love
for
WarioWare. So.
I had no open mind for games. I don't think I would have this probably would have just sat on my shelf if I had it as a kid.
Oh really?
I didn't the only saving grace for this game that I liked was the music. It was catchy. I would probably put it on my playlist, and it was just it was intuitive. It was creative. I would listen to it again. I had the same experience as you though. When I died, I was like, okay, that's enough for me. And I thought it reset completely because I didn't save. So it may have actually reset, but I didn't actually go back to the loading screen or anything. The town, not very well labeled at all. I just went up and I was like, cool, this is the tower, I guess. And then there was that really weird long animation of something happening on top of the tower. It's they're overkilling this a little bit.
Yeah.
During the
is that
cutscene.
before you even start playing, and they're just oh, I hope,
Yeah, that was in the
I hope
cutscene,
Guy
right?
made his name is Guy, right? They're like, oh, I hope Guy made it alive.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, you know he didn't.
But
But then you also know that Guy's probably the final boss. Am I right?
I can't.
it's
no.
it's
No?
You see his exact familiar again.
And you fight his exact familiar?
You can get his exact familiar.
game changer. Love it.
It is a badass familiar.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than that, I didn't like how you could hold triangle to lock your position or lock your character in place and then like turn around. Like I feel like that should have just been a thing you could do. Like just
I
turn
didn't know you
and
could
then if
do
you hold
that.
it longer. Oh, okay. Wow.
I waited for a lot of turns, just turning around.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, the menus were really confusing to look at. Like if you pause the screen, like some of them had like half a word, and then they put the other half of the word on the bottom of or the like right underneath it. Like you could have just made the UI longer. Like you had all the space.
Yeah. I had a hard time navigating to figure out how to make my bird do other attacks.
Yeah,
That was
the
a
first thing I
little
did was go
confusing.
through all the menus, but like there was like create, fuse,
Cool.
join, all that. I'm like, oof, that's a lot of stuff.
It's a big game.
I can't really say much else on it. Like, I think it was a cool idea. I just don't think it was executed very well. Also, Pokemon outdid it because familiars are kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I probably would have preferred Pokemon over this game.
What would you rate the game?
2 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna be savage like that.
So I actually like games like this, like
Yeah.
overly complicated, kind of weird new ideas.
Yeah.
A lot of them end up not being rated very well because it's not like something you can get into easily.
Yeah.
Azure Dreams is not easy to get into.
No. I could see, like, if I had more time, maybe I could get into it. But where I only had the week, I didn't really want to sink too much time into it. But if I would probably sink about half an hour, 45 minutes a week into it if I were to play it for longer.
Yeah, there's a ton of familiars that you can get, and then you can fuse them to create new familiars. Each of them, they have different elements, so you can change their elements as well. You can build up pretty much every single building in the town. You can build up, and you can also customize the interior of. I don't know why people let you do that, but alright.
Yeah, really.
So with that means you can go better equipped into the tower. You can go to the blacksmith,
Okay.
buy a really good weapon to go in. You can even, like, as you catch familiars, you breed them and then you can sell them to the shop there.
Aren't they worth more as eggs? I remember reading that. They're worth more as eggs and not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of weird things you can do in it. Like, I don't know what time period it takes place in, because as you progress, you can start upgrading, like, the existing buildings, as I said, and you can even build entirely new buildings, such as a theater,
Like a movie theater?
a horse racing track, a bowling alley, and a community swimming
Oh.
pool.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
like-
I don't know what time period you would say this is.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird intricacies with the game. Like, you can also build up your relations with all the villagers. They go from, like, who's this guy that says one line of dialogue to me, to you unlock basically their storyline as, like, little side quests. You go in the tower and you do whatever they want, and you kind of learn more who they are,
Oh.
how they fit into the world, and yeah, it's really
Complicated.
complex
Yeah.
and hard to explain. And what I loved is it's the first roguelike I ever played.
Mhm.
Like, it was still a new genre at that point, and it's still kind of like a fringe genre right now.
Yeah.
You only really see roguelike and indie stuff.
Like Risk of Rain.
Yeah,
Even
Enter the
Mhm.
Gungeon,
Yeah,
Binding of
Gungeon.
Isaac, and all that.
Finding Magic, that's what I was thinking
I
of.
think that the genre is a huge turnoff for a lot of people. Because, like, you guys
So
said,
every time
when you exited the tower and you woke up, you're like, shit.
Yeah, I was like, what? So every time you go back into that tower, it's different?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
actually one of the first examples of random generation
Okay.
in the game as well.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Every level is
I
different.
did not
It's
leave and
randomly
re-enter
generated.
that tower enough times to realize that.
Yeah. And you start getting different... certain floors won't be randomly generated. They'll be, like, the same floor every time, but you start running into different people there.
Okay.
You run into your little rival. He's a lot stronger than you. But
Oh.
eventually, if you piss him off, like, he'll say, like, do you want me to accompany you here? Because you're kind of weak. You're like, actually, I'd feel lonelier. That's one of the responses you can give to him. He'll piss him off,
There's a
and
lot
then
of
you
weird
can fight
answers.
him.
Yeah, I felt like I was so rude to my mom in that game. She'd say, and she'd be like, "Are you
Yeah.
going?" Like, I'm going. Like, I'm going. There's nothing you can say to stop. Like.
There's also like some dialogue options where they mean the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going. It's like I'm going
Yeah,
again.
he's like, I'm going. A dialogue option was like, I'm going. Dialogue option 2 was like, no, I'm going. Like, it's just like the
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like there was like the double check for whether you actually wanted that decision or not.
It's
but
an
they were-
illusion
but
of
they
choice,
were each
but-
yes. And it's like, wait, what if I accidentally clicked the last one? Now I'm just saying yes or yes again.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird
The
dialogue.
illusion of choice at its finest.
Yeah, it's just poor illusion, but you had the choice.
It was a weird choice, kind of an interesting choice for Game Club. It's not something you can. It's nice, kind of weird to hear from people who only put like a little bit of
Yeah.
time into it, like what they think of it, because it transforms completely as you like figure it out more.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Like, yeah, if I had more time, I would probably get into it.
I wouldn't.
No,
No.
no, hard no.
It's like there's too many little flaws that I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
It feels like it was built from the ground up to be a niche game, though. It's not supposed to be like something everyone would like. It's made specifically for certain people, basically.
Also, the art style, I realized, like, the first time you see yourself in the bed, like, it's not fully pixelated, but it's not, like, painted either. It's kind of like a weird mix of both.
Yeah.
And
I kind of remember
it
it.
was a turnoff for me. I was like, this
Maybe it's
isn't-
just like your monitor. Like it just didn't stretch. with
No,
your
no.
monitor.
it was just a weird style, I think, and I was just,
Yeah, it was on
pixels or not,
it was-
choose one.
It was before 3D was really.
That's
a
what it
big
was. It was a
thing.
blurry 3D model.
Okay.
No,
Or sprites.
the characters are sprites. The environments are 3D.
Yeah, there you go.
It was before 3D controls and everything were really like revolutionized.
Mm-hmm.
So it was at the kind of weird point.
That's why it was grid based. It was easier to
Yeah.
make them. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The game for next time is
Tamagotchi
a more
Play.
recent game this time. It is called Wuppo.
On what? For what? When was it made?
It is on Steam and it's actually on sale right now, half off.
Okay.
Uh,
Wuppo?
Yes.
WUPPO?
WUPPO.
You're gonna have to tell me what this game is.
I will give you guys a link for it. So it is. The story of Wuppo revolves around a little ball-shaped creature known as Wum, who gets kicked out of his home for making a huge mess while eating some ice cream.
Oh my god.
So I haven't actually researched it much. I want to go in kind of blind, but you play
get
as.
kicked out of your house because you spilled ice cream.
Yeah,
It's the last time. Get out of the house. Clean this carpet too many times.
It's a platformer RPG, and what got me interested in it is seeing that weird, like, really cutesy art style and the
Yeah.
cute entrance, like the ice cream thing,
Okay.
and reviews saying they thought it was going to be a simplistic indie cutesy platformer, and they were completely wrong.
It is this generation's Azure Dreams.
It's at 97% on Steam right now.
Oh, crazy. Ah, that's good.
When was it made?
2016 or 2017.
Okay.
Recent.
So it's still holding up. People still
It's-
like it.
Yeah, it's 2017. Actually, it was released near the end of the year.
Okay, so it's not as impressive as I thought it was, but it survived like the first 3 months.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Wuppo.
But yeah, I want to do a mix of like recent and older games.
I like that idea.
And all of the old games will be things you guys probably didn't play. So I've played
Most
a lot of
likely. Yeah,
weird
probably.
games that no one's
I
ever
played
heard
the
of.
mainstream stuff, like Donkey Kong.
I love Donkey Kong. But that won't be one of them because I'm pretty sure Keaton's the only one who hasn't played Donkey Kong.
Which Donkey Kong are we talking about?
Donkey Kong Country.
The one that is in Witcher 3.
SNES.
It doesn't have Geralt in it.
So,
I don't know if gorillas were
Donkey
in
Kong
Witcher
Country.
3, so I don't know if you know what those are.
No, they were not. Donkey Kong Country, is that the platform one? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've played it, yeah.
All of them are platformers, Keaton.
Well, 2D platformer.
Sure.
There are 5 2D platforming Donkey Kong games.
I have played the 3D one a lot with friends.
Tropical
like,
Freeze?
64?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
okay.
64.
So that's not,
That's 3D.
nobody considers that one
Yeah.
canon.
Yeah, no one really likes that game.
That's not
I
Yeah.
right.
like it.
I don't know, the multiplayer matches are fun though.
That was multiplayer?
Were they?
Oh, the multiplayer was fun though.
Yeah,
I have that. I played it for about an hour. I was like, I don't know where
Yeah,
I'm
and
supposed
his
to do.
coconut gun, it fires in spurts.
What are you guys doing playing that instead of Goldeneye?
I don't know.
What do you
I
mean?
had
You know,
this-
you bring it, yeah, let's all go play.
I played
Then-
Goldeneye.
In
What are you
Goldeneye,
playing? We're playing
can you
Goldeneye.
swim underwater? In Goldeneye, can you hop on your forearms as a
Exactly,
lanky ass
yeah. Those were awesome.
clown orangutan?
No, you don't want to. You can turn yourself into DK mode where everyone had giant heads and looked like Donkey Kong. There's that. I could play
That
as
counts.
any of the actors that played James Bond, like in the game, and they looked just like him because it was literally a picture of his face slapped onto a
Look
low
just
poly.
like him if they're doing that Japanese game show where they put like the nylon in the person's face and
Yeah.
they have to stretch.
Look, just yeah.
That's what
yeah.
they looked like.
Okay, in my defense for Donkey Kong 64, I think it was probably like the first sort of FPS multiplayer game I
That's
played.
not
and-
FPS. Oh.
It's
it
an
is technically,
FPS.
well, it's well, I guess third
FPS.
third person.
It's
you know,
first-
third
Well,
person.
yeah.
But
Okay.
first
It can go
multiplayer
first
shooter I played.
person.
And yeah, I guess true with and all that, but like I don't know how old I was either. You know, it's just like you're playing it with a group of friends, hiding around corners, waiting to shoot somebody and stuff. You know, it's when a game's your first experience, it might not be that good, but it's still really fun. You know.
Yeah, some guy's trying to come around the corner with his coconut gun, and you hop around and slap him with your orangutan arms, knock that gun out of his hands.
It was like hilarious and a stupid way too. That's why it was fun to play.
Did you ever play Super Mario 64?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of you.
Okay.
I played on DS.
Did you play Quest 64?
No.
Quest 64,
Yeah.
like, I have fond memories of it, but I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah, it is
and I
bad.
never want to play it again. Because I still remember fighting the werewolf for the first time. I was like,
I don't
oh
remember
my
anything
god,
about the game.
this is so cool. I thought I was like 6.
So Rampage was good.
Oh yeah, Rampage was good. Not the movie, but yeah. Movie's not out
The movie
yet.
hasn't.
Yeah.
But I know you know it's gonna be bad. They've already changed this. They already
This
changed
is the
what
earliest
game is.
review of
Or
the
they changed what it
Rampage
is.
movie.
It's not good. It's not. That movie's not gonna be good.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh no. So it's gonna be a dumb, lame action comedy.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a kaiju movie. All kaiju movies are good.
Directed by Guillermo del Toro.
But it's not a kaiju game. it's not a kaiju. No, it's dudes who turn into these monsters that can't control themselves anymore.
Yeah. Rampage doesn't even follow that.
They should have made it like the Power Rangers series.
That movie doesn't follow.
No.
They all transform into the monsters, but they're actually just going through teen angst in high school outside of that.
Like Dwayne
Yes.
The Rock Johnson.
Oh,
He's
he's
just
good at
playing
high
a
school.
teenager. And he's just like, ugh.
He does not need to be in a setting like that.
He's just.
Have any of you guys seen Tomb Raider yet?
No, I heard it was like.
It's not out yet.
They made a
No,
movie.
yeah, it came out.
No, it's
Oh, I thought it was out next week.
No, it came out.
Those have been movies in the
Today,
2000s.
technically, or yesterday, technically release day. Thursday night is when they start showings.
I heard it's decent, which is
mediocre.
about the best you can expect
Yeah,
for a video
right now it's the
game
best video game
adaptation,
movie that's ever been made.
which is
Pretty
sad.
much, yeah. But-
Just
but
because
it's-
it doesn't suck, but it's nothing special. That's what.
And it's almost more boring than some of the other ones, just because it is the best adaptation to a movie.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
You like it?
It's good, but it's like almost just kind of boring.
Yeah. Okay. I'm probably gonna wait till it comes out to see it. I think the only video game movie that will be good will be the Uncharted movie, and that's because
It's a movie already.
those games are
Yeah.
movies
So
already,
that's
so you
basically
can't.
like
Yeah.
realism.
What
Yeah.
about the Final Fantasy 15 movie?
I hated
Is
it.
that a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Kingsglaive.
I loved
Oh.
Advent Children.
Yeah, I didn't love Advent Children. I appreciated it, but
I just liked
I think I watched
fights.
it expecting like, yes, I can't wait to see everyone fight, but it was just Cloud, which I mean it's not bad, but it was just
Hey,
Cloud.
you had Tifa fight the Crybaby.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
And
One of the-
at the end of it, his phone rang with the Final Fantasy victory theme.
Just the latest part is when he's flying through the air and he needs to get higher, but somehow everyone else is already above him, throwing him up. Like
Yeah,
Tifa throws him,
physics.
and then Red 13 chucks him, and then Barrett, and then somehow Vincent's up there and he throws him, and then Yuffie doubles like they're all already
So
up
just
there.
Cloud can't jump. Is basically
Exactly.
what that
Like,
scene tells
how did
you.
they get up there without assistance, and why is Cloud basically needing to be like laddered, like just like? No, what a
What
What a
an
weird
okay movie.
way better than Spirits Within.
Tomb Raider movie, the new one at least, it's, if you've played any Tomb Raider games, it's
Yeah.
essentially like you're watching something that's like I wish I could just play this.
Yeah.
You know, you're watching a person jump through like a falling apart plane or
like
whatever.
they're going for that rock.
Like, yeah, going
and
for that rock. And it's
it.
like that's the kind of thing that I want to be like climbing on.
Yeah.
When the plane's falling apart.
I heard that the last part of the movie is just watching Lara Croft solve puzzles and do quick time events.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, apparently there's one where she like picks up a ladder, goes to one, climbs up, does something, like climbs down the ladder, picks up the ladder,
It's like
puzzles.
Video game puzzles.
Crazy. And she like literally see her, and she like does that whole like when you're playing a puzzle, and you're like wait, and then you like run and you look at something, and then you kind of angle the camera so you can get a good look at it.
They add an element of danger, but no one's holding onto the ladder, so she could fall.
Yeah.
There are other people there watching her though. But no one decided to hold the ladder. And at one moment, apparently, it does like kind of swivel a bit. And she like looks down.
And then everyone yells, "Be careful!" But they're not helping. They're like, "Careful!"
Cool. It's like in an anime when one of the guys is getting beaten to death by the villain, and everyone is watching. They're like, "No, this is his fight."
Like, oh no, he'll get it. He'll get up. No, I'm like yeah, that's respectful.
That was the anime ladder climbing scene. This is her ladder. Also, there was one moment in the Tomb Raider movie. I hate like the stupid sort of. It's not even like a plot hole, but it's just like idiotic character moments where it's like she has one guy defeated, laying on the ground, that she can't let leave.
No names.
That she can't
Don't give us any names.
let leave for some reason, and the obvious way out she destroys. It's like the guy's
Delusion of choice.
defeated there. Why did you just stop yourself from getting out? You know, I hate dumb moments like that.
I guess. Well, they gotta push that story forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that everything? Are we good? Everyone said their piece. We know the game. Wuppo.
Yes.
Wuppo is the game we'll be playing next week.
How'd you find this?
I was just looking through
Steam,
recent
and
indie
it just
games.
caught your eye.
Okay.
Okay.
Top 50? Something like that?
Yeah.
I searched by review because I was looking through and I saw like, do you know the way and everything. I cannot search for this anymore. This is awful. And there was like Cube Race, and it was literally like the Unity cube sliding along the ground. So yeah, I couldn't search through that anymore. But I found by review going down. So I only found the good ones.
Okay, yeah, but that's the episode for this week. So Wuppo is the game we're going to be playing next week for the Games Club. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Sinjin, this is Keaton, Ben, and then Brennan. Next week, I don't know if we fully decided who our panel is yet, but we'll get on that, and then hopefully I'll have this up by Tuesday. Now that I kind of understand what I'm doing with editing, and the video is going to be much better quality now because we're using my phone. I should have this up by Tuesday earlier than I did last time. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, too, for joining us on the podcast this week, even though it was Microsoft heavy, and I know you guys aren't big Microsoft fans. I can't control the news, but at least you guys were able to give some reactions, and I appreciate that. I really do appreciate you guys trying. But till next time, guys,